Welcome, everyone, to WWTA News. Here we look at crypto, finance, and economic news. I'm your host, EB, and thank you for joining us. All right, welcome back, everybody. So, look, I saw this story and I thought, maybe I should read this on the channel and maybe it'll inspire more people to understand what we're looking at when we, here in the U.S., what we're possibly looking at with the U.S. dollar. Again, we have, we're going into a new economic system. We're going to be dealing with new currencies. And so a lot of people don't really believe that, they're in the middle of this thing that's happening, and they might come up short messing around holding that dollar, thinking that that dollar's never going to be touched in a sense. But either way, it's a really interesting story I saw, and I just want to read it out. The author is Andrew Fenton. He's the one that got the story, and I just want to read this out, and hopefully the people listening, they'll be able to use this to help others understand that you can't sit here thinking with everything going on in the U.S. with this dollar that it's going to stand tall forever. Okay, so it says what it's like when the banks collapse. Ireland, 2008, firsthand. And it starts off, imagine if the money that you have in your bank account now would suddenly buy you 1/10 of what it used to. Right? So, here we go. An American who experienced the most dramatic banking and share market collapse in living memory in Iceland in 2008 says, the reality is something no one would ever want to experience. It's a deep nausea in the pit of your stomach that does not go away over many months. That feeling of ill-being persists, he says, because it doesn't happen all in one day. It happens slowly. Like many in the crypto community today, in the lead up to the crash, Bibler felt as if he was the only one to notice the ever-widening cracks in the financial system. When it finally happened, he admits to a sense of misplaced pride. I was like, hey guys, the crash is happening now. I was trying to warn you about this for a couple of years, he recalls thinking. So I was feeling a bit arrogant or something. But I didn't realize, hey, in 2 days, pal, you're going to be worrying if you can buy food. Bibler, who later joined the Fahar Mala, I've jacked that up. Let's leave that alone. The FME investigation into the collapse had quit his stressful Wall Street job in 2004 and moved to the tiny country after vacationing there. He ended up working at one of the largest banks, Landsbanki, and in a stroke of bizarre timing, quit his job just days before all three major banks collapsed in October 2008. Each was the size of Enron, and the impact of the collapse on the 350,000 residents has been likened to 300 major banks collapsing in a country the size of the United States. 300 major banks collapsing in a country the size of the United States. The stock market plunged 97% from its 2007 high, and the value of the national currency, the krona, halved. People began to stockpile goods from supermarkets, and many were forced to line up for food aid. Imagine if the money that you have in your bank account now would suddenly buy you 1/10 of what it had. That happened in a week. How would you feel? I can't travel abroad anymore. I can't buy a car. In the kind of crash that we had with supermarket shelves going bare, and you're not sure where your next meal is going to come from, and you're not sure if the money in your wallet can buy anything the next morning, I think you're pretty close to a real breakdown in society. The mood on the streets of Iceland was vengeful and kind of scary, he says. I was a bit afraid of it. People were down in front of the parliament every day screaming and yelling and banging pots and pans, lighting fires and making noise. Really super angry. All right, so this thing happened also in Venezuela, and we can think back to the news and the videos that we saw. So it got really bad. They were looting because they had to eat. They were standing in lines. I mean, things got really bad in Venezuela. So we have something that we can also look back on to visualize and see that we are at a point where things can go sideways. The dollar is pretty much backed by debt. Okay. The oil is in abundance everywhere, so it's not like that's a real commodity. With the all the changes in dealing with these agreements with the UN, we've been moving to solar and reducing, all this petroleum and stuff. So the dollar's really about to take the back seat. And with everything going on in the world, it's kind of hard to not see that that's what's happening. So, this is a wonderful story, from somebody explaining how things was when it happened for them. As the United States, as citizens here in the United States, we should definitely be looking at this story and saying, what if this actually happens in the United States? Am I prepared for anything? Because you might not be prepared. You might still be thinking everything's fine and everything's going to be okay. So anyways, thank you for joining us at WWTA News. If you enjoyed our video, please hit the subscribe and like button. And join us next time to follow the news in crypto, finance, and economics.